All right, let's talk about Xavier Legette, the first round pick by the Carolina Panthers. They traded up a spot to make sure that they were able to get him, as they really wanted to help out Bryce Young and feel he can be a guy to potentially do that. So, what is he bringing to the table for Carolina? What is something that can be done by him to, just make the Panthers offense work better, to obviously make, Bryce Young be in a better situation? That's kind of what people are going to mostly talk about. But just in general, obviously drafting him isn't just an attempt to help out Bryce Young, it's also an attempt to get a good player. So let's talk about what he can do, and let's start off with this play, which might be a key thing they want to see him be able to do, is his ability to win on the outside. And we would certainly see that when defenses like Mississippi State's defenses here would play single safety deep coverages, he's running a go route on the outside, and we would often see them take chances pushing the ball down the field to him when those opportunities would arise. Look at how when this play begins, you're going to see first off, kind of blows by the corner going up against, not massively so, but is able to run by him a little bit, has enough speed, and you certainly see sometimes the speed is very nice, being able to run by some of these guys, so gets the separation. However, this is not going to be a perfect throw. So while a perfect throw, you feel pretty good about this being a big completion, it's actually going to be slightly underthrown. However, you're going to see him still be able to adjust nicely, makes the grab, and gets the rest of the way into the end zone for a touchdown. So a lot of things to like about that. First off, just being able to get open, right? You want to give Bryce Young a window to make the throw. That would certainly help. But not just that. What also helps is the fact that for Bryce Young, I mean, let's just be honest. A lot of times when he wasn't throwing to Adam Thielen, the ball, if it was not in a perfect perfect placement for the receiver to make the grab, it was not getting caught. And in fact, sometimes even when it was perfect placement for the receiver to make the grab, it wasn't getting caught. So having a guy who can maybe adjust and make things happen is certainly nice to see. And like this one's another one where, okay, so it's a one-on-one matchup similar to what we're talking about, last play. It's kind of, same situation, one-on-one matchup on the outside. This time's going to be a little bit different though. When this play begins, it's still going to be, hey, let's throw it up, let Legette try to go up and get it. But in this situation, there is not a ton of separation. It's not like the last one where, hey, there's a window and the window wasn't perfectly thrown. This time there isn't a huge window, and you could argue this is a criticism of Legette. It's not like he was always getting open, but which, again, is the case of everybody, right? Except for, maybe Randy Moss. Usually you're going to be covered on an amount of snaps, and you just hope you can get open on enough of them. But watch him go up and make this grab right here. Really good contested catch. And hey, in this scenario, you're always open, even if you're not someone who, was getting separation. There's more ways to make a play work than just get separation, although obviously separation is the key one. So the fact that he can go up and make a play like that is certainly promising as well, I would say. So that's very good. And I want to be clear, I don't think he is just a pure, go route, a jump ball receiver who can hopefully blow by guys as well. I do think there's more to his game than just that. Something like this, for example, where you see the route on the screen, that is the route that Legette is going to be running here. So it's, again, a one-on-one matchup, but a bit more of an exotic route. So we're going to, rely more on footwork and quickness here. When this play begins, you see that the defensive player, currently is not quite clear of what Legette is going to be doing, and because of it, is moving in a little bit more. He's expecting this to be honestly, I think he's expecting this to be more of a slant route, but that is not what's happening. You see Legette run by him. The defensive back, I think at that point, just tried to create contact and commit a foul to prevent the touchdown, and that didn't work out either as Legette gets into the end zone for a touchdown. So being able to just, be a possession receiver at times as well, and just be a guy who can win in these one-on-one spots. Again, like I said, seems like a lot of times Adam Thielen was the only guy to do that. They've now added Deontay Johnson as well. So getting several guys to just be able to win in these scenarios would be a huge upgrade from what they had last season. Now, there were plays like this as well, where it's like, man coverage, you see the route that Legette is going to be running, just kind of this out route here, and once again, a one-on-one matchup. And we see that when this play begins, so, Spencer Rattler, the quarterback, rolling towards the top of the screen, there's not a huge window. Like I said, there wasn't always consistent separation. It would happen on occasion and it would look great, but there would be plays like this where he's kind of like just giving you a window, which still isn't a bad thing, right? Like Bryce Young doesn't necessarily need wide open windows left and right. Again, Legette was drafted pick 32, right? So, you're not expecting him to be this right out of the gate superstar receiver, but as long as he can just generate windows, you see Rattler's able to make this throw and they're able to get a completion, and maybe just some of that stuff can still go a long way, right? Just the consistent, hey, if you put this one, if you kind of fit this one, not even in a mailbox, but I don't know, hit the stop sign sized window right here, we can consistently get these first downs. Well, that's still a big benefit, and that's still something that can be very helpful with then the potential of more. And I'd also say, like, the route running is interesting. I think there is room for improvement with someone like him. He's 23 years old, so he's not the youngest prospect in the world. But you see a play like this, it's, again, a one-on-one matchup. And it's going to run more of an over-the-middle route. I do feel like when you see this play begin, he isn't really doing too much of the route running variety. He's kind of at this point just kind of showing that he is going to be moving more over the middle of the field. He could kind of get away with this in college because he was so much quicker than everybody else. Like, you see that he does cut well enough that he's able to get the completion. I think you do wonder a little bit if in the NFL level, is he going to have to put a little bit more work into the route running side of things? But at the same time, kind of the way I view him is like, well, if he has to, then he'll have to. Like, then that's something you can adjust to at the NFL level. Sometimes, part of why it's so difficult to evaluate wide receivers is because there is a bit of a projection of what works in college doesn't always work at the NFL level, but then he'll adjust and probably still be able to be good at that. So I certainly wouldn't be worried about it. So yeah, I mean, as a whole, he's a prospect I like. He is. This is right around when I felt like he could have been drafted, so it makes sense for the Panthers. One thing I think some people might have had questions about, the Panthers traded up one spot to get Legette, and there's two possible reasons. For one, I think it's possible the Bills were kind of comfortable with a few different receivers and were willing to trade down a spot, and the Panthers were the ones that were like, well, we don't want to lose our guy Legette, so we'll trade up and outbid whoever else is trying to get him. It's also possible that they just cared about the fifth-year option, because again, I don't think they're just drafting him to help out Bryce Young. I think that's a part of it. I think that they want to help out Bryce Young, but if there was some other prospect that they thought was significantly better on the defensive side of the ball, I don't know for sure they would have passed that up. I think that part of what they like about him is him. They like the player itself, and definitely there's reasons to get excited. Now, is there a bit of projection with him of how good can he get? I think so. I don't know if, like, right now he's an elite level wide receiver, but I also think that he can get better, and there is room for improvement in his game in a lot of ways. So because of that, I do find him to be a very, very unique prospect. And the nice thing for Carolina as well is he's not the only guy they've added to their list, right? They've gone out and added, they added Jatavian Sanders in this draft and Jonathan Brooks in this draft. And they got, they traded for Deontay Johnson, they traded for him this offseason. So they've added guys. They kept Adam Thielen. They have guys who can potentially take some pressure away, and we'll see how it works out. But yeah, as a whole, I'm a fan of this pick. I'm a fan of the player. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.